So, how is everybody? It's Friday. Oh, what a week. And we're now finally in the home straight to the weekend. Someone's had a hard week. Look at him. Difficult, isn't it? Hard life being a 12-week-old French bulldog. What? I wish I was in bed. But there we go. That's him. He's not going to be doing anything that exciting for you today. He's made sure that he's got everything in his bed what he doesn't want the cat to touch. This seems to be his regime. Cat goes near his toys, he moves them to his bed and then sleeps with them round him. But back into the meat and potatoes. Now look, there's been a lot going on, as we all know. You know, the Idaho murder case has gripped everyone. And, you know, I think it's a bit mixed why it's gripped people. You know, obviously we've seen a devastating act has taken place. And there's so much going around it. There's so many things that people can look at. You know, the speculative mind can ponder over and look at. And, you know, it's good in one way that, well, there's a lot of information that could potentially provide answers, but then that comes as a double-edged sword because there's so many fucking weirdos seemingly around this case that the vast majority of them, if you dig deep enough, you will find something that makes them look weird and potentially the guy or girl that we're looking for. I must say at the moment it seems to be a male-orientated crime. But we can't rule out a female doing it. We can't. But what I want to do in this video is quickly touch on some things that have left some confusion out there. Now, the white car to start with, the Hyundai Elantra. Now, there was thoughts that this car had been caught in the body cam footage, and that has been cleared up that that's not, in fact, the case. I'm not sure whether it says it in this report. Let's have a quick look. Let's go over to this screen. So, Idaho Murders Update, search underway for white Hyundai Elantra. Now, what I will say is that it seems to me that there is more than one person involved in this. Now, the link in description is the Moscow Police Department, and they are actually, they've done an interview, and they're asking for the multiples. Bless me. They're not just one person, but the occupants. I did say this in the video yesterday. I didn't know whether that was by mistake that they'd said it, but he clearly is asking for the occupants of that car. And they have confirmed that that is not the car that we're seeing in the body cam footage. I believe someone emailed me, I can't remember who it was, but they said it looks like a Ford Focus that's actually in that video. But it says they're trying to track down the killer of 4 University of Idaho students and now searching for the occupant or occupants and of a white 2011-13 Hyundai Elantra that was seen near the home at the time of the murders. And they are saying that that was in the immediate vicinity as well. Again, I still have to ask the same question. All these tips that have gone in that place this vehicle in the immediate vicinity around the time of the murders, how have all these people seen it? You know, are these people from the frat house? Are they people who was involved in that altercation, you know, where law enforcement had to attend? You know, I say altercation, it was, you know, an alcohol-related incident. But I wonder where all these people were who saw this car, because my inquisitive mind is like, if there was these people and they saw the car, then why didn't they see the person? Why didn't they see somebody enter that house? And then I think to myself, so is that what we've seen here? Is this confirmation that this was in fact more than one person? And is that what people saw? They didn't see anybody that they can point out and say, look, we saw this person enter the home, because they probably entered the home round the sliding door at the back, but went out the front and got in a car and left. I think, as I sort of gave a nudge to yesterday, I think that this is confirmation. And again, this is me speculating. I'm not saying for a fact, but I just feel that this information is saying that there was more than one person involved. And if this car was involved, then is it that one person or more than one person has come into the area? And is that the confusion over whether the house was targeted or the people inside the house was targeted? It's a bit of a strange one at the moment, but look, this is what they're going on to say. Moscow police said on Wednesday that the vehicle was in the immediate area of the rental home on King Road in the early hours of the 13th of November, when these, students were sadly killed. The occupant may have critical information to share regarding this case, police said. They urged the public to come forward with information. Also, they're addressing Hoodie Guy, because obviously police, law enforcement, they see everything that's circulating online, and they've touched on that. On Wednesday, police also addressed rumours about Hoodie Guy, who was spotted on Twitch footage with Goncalves and Mogen at the grub truck. The man has been cleared as a suspect, but Goncalves' father suggests he was ruled out too quickly. Now, bear with me here. Idaho State Police spokesperson Aaron Snell told The Independent that investigators are aware of the rumours, but did not confirm or deny them. So they're not giving any information. Now, you would think if this person was absolutely 100% not involved, then they would be able to say with some certainty, look, these rumours need to stop. This person is not involved, but they are not confirming or denying. More than 3 weeks on from the slaying, no arrests have been made, no suspects named, and the murder weapon has not been recovered. Now, listen to this. Idaho police individuals cleared as suspects in college student murders may be re-interviewed. Now, individuals who have already been publicly cleared as suspects in the brutal murders of 4 University of Idaho students may be re-interviewed by law enforcement as the investigation rumbles on for a 4th week and the killer remains at large. Moscow Police Chief James Fry told Fox News on Tuesday that cleared individuals could be called back in to speak with police if evidence leads law enforcement back to them. Now, let's just touch on this for a second. Now, this is what Kaylee's father is talking about. And this is why, if this carries on, this is going to end up with a lawsuit against this law enforcement department. Now, to come out and publicly clear someone, and then we're seeing movement from these people, like the leaving the country, it's always been a question, how could they have cleared them that soon? What evidence did they have that cleared them that early on in the investigation? There wouldn't have been phone records. The DNA data wouldn't have been back. That's only now starting to come back. What is it? Because a parent or a family friend has turned around and said, no, it weren't them, they were with us. That is not enough to clear someone. Now, was it a strategic move? Well, not being funny, but we're now seeing someone who is basically the majority of people who are looking into this, that he is their main suspect. And look, there are some people on the peripheral who give you the heebie-jeebies, but this guy seems to fit the bill. And I'm not saying he is involved at all. I'm saying that when you look at everything, you get the perception that he may well be. And these are basically turning around and saying now that as they get the data back, it might mean that they have to call them back in. So why clear them in the first place? They should have nailed this down. They should have closed everyone down and said everybody in this vicinity, everyone who was in that grub truck video, everybody who was involved in going to this house Anyone who had any involvement in these victims needed to be stopped from going anywhere, told that they need to stay and make themselves available. No leaving the country, no leaving the area, or make themselves available. And they did not do that. They cleared them. They allowed them to leave, not only the area, but the fucking country. And now we're in a position where they're saying that they might have to pull them back in, and they can't confirm or deny rumours that are circulating on social media. So take that as you will. But let's just head back over to here quickly. Killer Emojis, yeah, so law enforcement back then, we always have the option of re-interviewing. Really? You have the option of re-interviewing someone who has subsequently left the country, disappeared into the depths of Africa, non-extradition. You think you're going to re-interview them if they are indeed the perpetrator. Good luck with that. We've actually re-interviewed people 2 or 3 times because we'll get tips or we'll get information that we need to verify again. And sometimes we need to ask the questions just a little bit different to ensure that we're getting the proper information to continue on with this investigation. So that happens regularly. You regularly fuck up. So there we have it. Several people, including 2 surviving roommates and a man seen with 2 of the victims at the food truck, have been declared as suspect in the killings. Just goes on to say, obviously, we're now seeing some of the personal belongings return to the family. Now, I think that's strategic in its timing, and call me, I don't know. I just feel that this is kind of a bit of a diversion tactic. Law enforcement know the parents, the families are getting pissed off, and they think, look, if we give them a load of the personal belongings back, that might help the grieving process. Maybe they'll get off our backs a little. And I get it. It's caught between the devil and the deep blue sea because, we're now seeing that private investigators are being hired. And look, private investigators can do a fantastic job, and they could. Because sometimes it's just that people don't want to get involved with law enforcement. They don't feel safe. They don't feel confident speaking to law enforcement, but they may feel more confident speaking to a private investigator. So, there is that. But ultimately, when you have 2 parties kind of investigating the same situation, there could come a time where people are going to start butting heads. But ultimately, we are 4 weeks down the track. We've got no weapon. We've got no named suspect. I'll say named suspect because I think it's quite safe to say that we've got suspects. And later on today, I'm going to touch on just giving you some information. It's about, we're going back to look at someone, and I'm only covering it because you guys may not have seen it. And it's just to show that the likes of Jack D, the likes of Jack S, they're not the only people who could potentially have involvement. And I'm not doing what some people do and flat out asking them whether they had involvement, as we're seeing with some creators out there. I'm blown away by that. That we've got content creators who are going directly to people who could be suspects and just flat out asking them in a post on social media as to whether they are a murderer. I just don't get that. I don't get how that can even be allowed to go ahead. I get speculation, I get the inquisitive mind, but to do this sort of stuff is fucking way beyond. And some people need to wind their necks in. But like I say, at the moment, where are we? We're at a position where we're a month down the track, and we need to trust the process, I think. And it's hard to trust the process when we've seen it sort of flip-flop and seemingly mess up. Were these people cleared too soon? And have they made a huge, huge mistake that they're now going to struggle to rectify? Let me know down below what you think, and I'll catch you all in the next one.